President Manirat, President-elect Bhichai, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Rotarians. We are now heading towards the end of another year, and many of us, I believe, have a mixed feeling. But whatever the feeling each of us has, all of us will agree with me that the year started off with a bang under the presidency of Rotarian Manirat Chit Chom. Started with a bang. Actually, to me, it was more than a bang. Seeing the final curtain descending with the completion of her mission is the final lap of any race is always exciting. So to me, it is not just a bang, but a rocket being launched, not with any attempt to harm anybody or any person at all, or those who have to cause big hardship upon themselves. It is a rocket year launched and reached out, giving a hand to those badly in need of hardship, whatever we can give to make their lives a bit better. It was a year that we are convinced that the need for personal involvement is vital to the success of our mission. Indeed, the need to participate at any level is necessary, is essential. We gather here on such a function year in and year out. Certainly is not to enjoy the Rotary Fellowship. Fellowship in Rotary is important, a very necessary component in the operation of the club. But what is much more important is that friendship is the inspiration we have in each one of us. You may ask, why? Why the inspiration is so important to us? The answer is not too difficult. Seeing the majority of the members of our club here this evening and friends from other clubs, locally and abroad, bring us on a successful occasion must have a good reason why we're here. If you do not have an inspiration with the aim to serve humanity, I'm sure you won't be here. There's no doubt that there is something logic, something that strikes, something that teaches each of us something in the philosophy of Rotary that is fulfilling, something that is motivate us, something that is thrill us, sustain us, something in Rotaries that something is the ideal of service, serving humanity. there is a story of water and a boy by the name Dam. Those who have never been short of drinking water will never realize that just a one drop of water, just like one drop of water, is so important to all human beings. Dam, who has never seen his father and was not raised by his mother, who left him when he was only 7 months old. Dam was left with his grandmother. They lived in a broken wooden house, shack along the railway road in Khon Kaen. The grandmother, being illiterate, spent living by collecting and selling vegetables found in a swamp. She could not earn even 20 baht a day for a full day work, but she was determined not to only for her own survival, but the survival of her only most precious thing she has ever had in her life, that is her own blood, her grandson. At the age of 5, Dam was determined to go ahead, to go to school like other kids who lived nearby. He begged his grandmother, and she was eagerly agreed to bring him to school. And there they were, both of them, on the day of the opening of the school day. A lady, an old lady, skinny and pale, dark complexion, walked through the street with a small, scrawny, peculiar lad with rash and wounds all over the body of his body. It was at the school that the teachers and other children noticed that Dam was often ill. Afraid of strangers and often missed school. Rumors were speculating that the boy father was dead because of HIV/AIDS. Was the child also a victim of this disease? The teachers decided to find out by going out to visit his home. Actually not home, a shack. In inspecting the shack where the grandmother and her grandson lived, they discovered one very important thing, that there was no water supply. Apparently, the neighbors told them that it was permissible to contact to all their water supplies, but had left the old lady to pay for both bills. With no money, the water supply from the neighbors was cut off. Water is life. The grandmother and the child were so desperate. Somehow they must find some source of water, any source of water, any kind of water. They did find one. Water from the community sewage outlet. By using sandbags to dam the community water and the sewage outlet, skimming off water from draining when the silt mud had settled down, had prolonged their lives. But drinking water from a sewage outlet has caused Dam with diarrhea, rash, and wounds all over his body. The little boy was classified as being risk. He was made known to the local Rotary Club in Khon Kaen, which immediately contacted the municipality and the hospital. The installation of the water supply took place a few weeks later on by Rotary, and Dam was tested for HIV/AIDS, the result of which was negative. A happy ending for Dam and his grandmother, who is now being employed by a Rotarian. Unfortunately, this kind Rotarian just passed away last week. The Rotarian who raised the mother and the boy just passed away last week. This is humanity in action. This ideal is something we all share, something we have in common. But it is fair and too simple to say that what we share is an inclination towards service. I trust it's much deeper than that. Yes, all of us are serving humanity. And this is exactly what President Manirat had led us to do so many outstanding projects which serve humanity. President Manirat, you have now sowed the seeds of love. You have sowed the seeds of love and care for everyone, everywhere. No doubt you are an instrumental in setting our club where it should be heading, where it should be going. And like her predecessors, she has been able to sustaining the core value of Rotary. We are truly proud of her, Manirat. Having said this, it is also that the Rotary Club of Bangkok has served the good fortune to have made many Rotarians, former Rotarians, may have also served so well and will not be surprised at all. After almost 2 decades, we have a lady and never of our club to serve as district governor. We have not had any district governor for more than 20 years. Perhaps praising the ladies, all of whom fully deserve, does not mean that we men are envied or are inferior to our fair ladies. It is the combination of men and women who share the same ideal of service. It is a combination of our conviction and determination. It is a combination of our enthusiasm and our inspiration. It is a combination of our friendship, like the one last week we had in Chinatown, the Friendship and Fellowship, sponsored by our President Manirat. That was a good fellowship, good friendship, make things much more better than any other clubs have done. We had many great personalities emerged to remind us of our essential responsibility and inspire us of the core value of Rotary. We are truly proud of her. Needless to say, my fellow Rotarians, needless to say, she is the gift and the destiny of our club. In the commencement speech at the university, the honor guest said about the essence of his engagement of lifetime, saying, and I quote, "No one of us, if they have characters," I repeat the word characters, if they have characters, will leave behind a wasted life. President Manirat has this qualification. You, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends of the Rotary Club of Bangkok, do have characters. All of us will never leave behind a wasted life. It is my distinct honor, therefore, on behalf of all the members of the Rotary Club of Bangkok, to express to you our most sincere appreciation to our outgoing president, whom we will ever remember, that Manirat served this club as its president with great efficiency. May this be made known to all who will come after us, after all we are all gone. The almost 90 years of our existence, however, does not mean that we have not any problems or difficulties. The very least I could recall is that during the Second World War, between 1941 to 1945, our club was then the only club in Thailand, was forced to close down. It was a shock to all the members of the club. However, past Governor, His Royal Highness Prince Wan, who served as governor in 1941, just before the war broke out, and who later on became the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations, had a very bright idea by deleting the word Rotary, and replaced the club's name as the Service Club of Bangkok. Instead of the Rotary Club of Bangkok, he replaced it with the name the Service Clubs of Bangkok. The Service Club of Bangkok, with all the members maintained over there, still met every Thursday at the Rattakul Hotel until the end of the war in 1945. the name of the Rotary Club of Bangkok is again emerged, and His Royal Highness Prince Dani Niwat served as governor, followed by Paya Srivisan Wacha, who in 1961 served as second vice president of Rotary International. At this point, you would like to know that this year is a very important year for Rotary Club of Bangkok, because this year is the 80th anniversary of the demise of our charter president, Prince Kampang Phet Akariyotin, the first president of the Bangkok Club, who passed away in Singapore when he was only 55 years old. And this year is the 80th year of his death. He did not come back again, although he served as president and governor for 2 years because of the revolution in 1932. He has to be exiled to Singapore and lived there until his death. And this year is the 80th anniversary of his demise. You must understand that it was not at all an easy task during those days because of the presence of the Japanese military in the country. I don't mean our pretty lady, Shimi-san. I mean the Japanese military. My fellow Rotarians, looking ahead over the years and looking back over the years that have gone by does not mean that we are just dreaming a dream in the past. It is a past that paves the way for the sound road map of where we are heading. Our aim is to make Rotary stronger, better, bigger, and bolder. That is the aim of President-elect Bhichai. He must make Rotary of Bangkok bigger, better, and bolder. And here again, we are very fortunate to have another outstanding Rotarian in the person of Bhichai Vasatsada, who was invited by past President Rajib to join the club in 1997 when he was only 35 years old. Under the classification of finance and accounting. And our president will serve as our president in 2009-2020. A 57 years old young man, handsome young man, was born in Bangkok in 1962, just 1 year ahead of me joining Rotary in 1963. When I was in Rotary, he was just a baby, a 1-year baby. He was educated at the famous Chulalongkorn University in the finance and earned his first degree there. He continued his study in Satsin. In Satsin, when he obtained his master's degree in finance and accounting. He started his career as a public accountant and auditor of Ernst & Young. He spent for 11 years, and he spent 1 year in San Jose in California, USA, with Ernst & Young before he returned home and is working on his own, I believe, now. His expertise is profession ethics. Profession ethics. I repeat that word. our President-elect's experiences comprise of the master degree of many stages. But I want to mention only one most important point of his career, and that is his profession ethics. His profession ethics. Here, my fellow Rotarians, is a man of dignity and credibility. Here is a man of high ethical standard. Here is a man we can trust, a man with great potential to become not only a great asset to the club, but to the country as a whole. President-elect Bhichai, we have great confidence and proud of you. By promoting high ethical standard, you are doing a big favor to our country as well. At the very least, through your background and your past experiences in your profession, you certainly can do much in bringing down the corruption practice among the many business corporations and those in power. I am sure that the Thai people do not want to see the Enron case takes place in Thailand to such an extent that sooner or later our country will go down the drain. I do not know how much about the love affair of our President-elect and Kun Bhichai and his good lady, Kun Rung Napa. We do not know much about his love affair, their love affair. Is it the desire of both of them not to make it known? I don't know. But I do know one thing, however. After having a short chat with him, I sensed that it was more than love at first sight. It was more than love at first sight. Courting each other for just 1 year, they agreed to get married. They did so in 2004. Having no children at all, after 15 years of marriage, they spend their leisure time playing golf. Bhichai is a good golfer. I believe he is a single handicap golfer. Perhaps only second to Tiger Woods. Bhichai and his dear wife also love traveling. And this will be able to connect the world to fulfill the theme of Rotary International during next year. With his profession, I think fundraising next year should not be too difficult for him, because I believe, and all of you too, that Bhichai is a man devoted of love, a man with strong conviction to do good, to do his best in the job he has been assigned to. When asked what plan does he have to make the club another exciting and successful year, his response was, "I will continue the work along what was done in the past, perhaps even emphasizing more on vocational service over hauling the club administration and fulfilling the task which has yet to be completed, and with humbly and with humility, I shall always remind myself that I am just one ordinary Rotarian. Rotarians, as we are all, and I will work together hand in hand with my fellow Rotarians to make Rotary connects the world. President Bhichai, I am glad that you have laid a sound plan for the year. It looks like you have, and the board will have a very busy time next year. I hope you will not take the presidency of this club too lightly or take it too for granted. Always keep in mind the highly respected gentleman in the past who had served this club so well, and you will realize and understand why my emphasis is on this. The presidency of the Rotary Club of Bangkok indeed is an honorable job. To be elected as president of this club is a great honor, but also it carries with it great responsibility. You have seen what have gone right, and you have seen what have gone wrong, and you will do your best to resolve the difficulties or the problems that were here before many years back, to overcome those shortcomings. You have our full support. You have our full confidence in your good self, and you can rest assured that you will have our fullest support, cooperation, and our pledge that we will stand side by side with you until the work is done. May I add one more humble advice to you. While you feel proud to assuming this highest post in this club, you must all the time, at all times, do your job with humility. You must always do your job with humility. Bow down a bit, and you will be surprised to see the reaction of those who will make your dream come true. Look at them at my humble self. I face the reality that sooner or later the sun will set on my life. The only thing I will miss is my country and my king. And you, the Rotarians of the Rotary Club of Bangkok and other clubs around the world. Having said this, the time has now come that I now take leave, not knowing when I will be here, when the next installation arrives. Life is so unpredictable, and because of this unpredictability, I want you to know that at 94 and going on to 95 by next year, whatever will be, will be. But Rotary and your friendship will be with me all the way. Yes, all of us have entered this room for this prestigious function. We have entered this room to learn. Let us now all go forward from here to serve, and serve we will with all our might.
Thank you so much, His Excellency Bhichai Rattakul, for an excellent speech. We are all inspired by your great words. Would you please accept this flower with our sincere thanks?